This time I'll call the Haywood County Schools Board of Education to order. At this time, I'd like to ask if Mr. Jimmy Rogers would lead us in the board prayer, immediately followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
Let us pray. Wonderful and gracious Heavenly Father, we want to again say thank you. Thank you for the many blessings you bestowed upon us. Thank you for the opportunities you've given us to help Haywood County Schools to be the best that they can be. Lord, we pray that you be with this board and the decisions we make is always for the betterment of our children in Haywood County. Lord, we do want to thank you for the wonderful accomplishments of Haywood County Schools. Look at what they've done. Look at what our teachers have done, our administrators, our staff. All of the staff, every employee of Haywood County Schools, Lord, is always putting their dedication to help make this school system the best it can be. And Lord, as our children have shown us, they are the best that they can be. Our communities, our parents, our grandparents, Haywood County citizens, and those above and beyond. Lord, they take a vested interest to make sure that their children are well educated. Lord, we are now even another further step ahead of being the top in this whole state, Lord, in our educational opportunities and abilities and accomplishments and goals that they set forth, and they maintain and achieve those goals and succeed the goals. And Lord, again, thank you for all of this that you've done for us. And Lord, as we walk our daily lives with you, we want to pray that as each day, each step we take, that you're guiding our way and we listen and open our hearts. And thank you again for all you've done. Be with us again as I pray that we do the best things that we can do and make the best decisions to give these children, again, of Haywood County, the best opportunities to achieve their goals, succeed, and lead us in the future. All these things we ask in thy precious name, Lord. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Under announcements, I'd like to announce that our next regular board meeting will be held here October 7th, not the second Monday, but the first Monday in October due to a work day. Isn't that correct? Okay. 7 o'clock here at the Education Center on Monday, October 7th. Also, don't forget the Haywood County Schools Foundation Fall Bingo is Saturday, October 5th at 6 p.m. at Tuscola High School. I'd also like to announce that Ms. Morris and I think Mr. Burnett are joining us through remote meetings, and we appreciate them making the effort, even though they're traveling, to be with us at our meeting this evening. Are there any other announcements that need to be made? Okay. Under agenda adjustments, I already have a couple that we'd like to see if we could get that done. Please remove item number 9, and we'll add back Dogwood Health Trust, and presenter will be Dr. Putnam on that, if that's okay. Is that good? Number 9 will be recognized next month, so we're not dissing them. It's just that we're going to delay it so we can have more participation from them. Are there any other adjustments or additions? Okay. One item under finance, we'll just do it at the regular time under finance.
4 motions under building and grounds, Chair.
4 motions, we'll do them right prior to the financial reports, okay? Between 23 and 24, building and ground, don't let me forget it. Okay. with any other adjustments that need to be made. Okay.
This time I'd like to make a motion that we approve the agenda as adjusted.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr.
Second.
Rogers, let's have a second from Mr. Nesbit. Are there any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right. Next, we have Miss Charlie Inman.
Chairman Francis and members of the board, I get the honor of recognizing a group of students that have demonstrated outstanding college-level achievement through their performance on multiple advanced placement exams. I also have Mr. Connor and Mr. Connor here to help me in giving out these awards to their students. There are 5 different recognitions that we'll be doing tonight. I'm going to start off with AP Scholar. And to be an AP Scholar, you have to have received a score of 3 or higher on 3 or more AP exams. So I'll start off with Pisgah High School. AP Scholars. We have Eli Ash, David Brooks, Angela Bowie, Kenyon Connard, Eli Frizzell, Heather Engel, Ensley Kovac, Kylie Messimer, Rudy Patel, Jessica Ross, Daniel Sablak, Hampton Shipman, and Anna Warren. From Tuscola, AP Scholars, we have Meredith Bradshaw, Samuel Decker, Noah Hale, Micaiah Hasty, Ty Hendricks, Louisa Coring, Cecilia Morgan, Ev Patel, Luna Reich, Trish, Eleanor Sutton, and Lucy Vanderweg. Okay, next.
Back row, David.
Yeah.
He's from Davidson last time.
Yeah.
See if I can get behind him. Big guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hide behind you. Congratulations, John. Then big fella, right? You know that one. Yeah, right there.
Sign crooked. I bet that chairman did that.
Logan, pass me that chocolate, please. Pretty please.
We got sweet tooth over here.
I'm on strike. I'm having to eat all the food. I'm on strike. I'm having to eat all the food I can. If you need me, get some chocolate.
Okay, I did want to make a clarification. 6 of those students that I called out have already graduated, so that may be why they're not here. Okay. They definitely miss us, I'm sure. All right, so the next group of students that I want to recognize is the AP Scholar with Honor. This is granted to students who receive an average score of at least a 3.25 on all AP exams taken and score a 3 or higher on 4 or more of these exams. Okay, so start off with Pisgah's AP Scholar with Honors, and that is Cooper Crook, Anna Shepard, for Tuscola, we have Georgia Crowder, Ryan Mooney, also graduated, and Stephen Thomason, also graduated. All right, the third one is the AP Scholar with Distinction. This is for students who receive an average score of at least a 3.5 on all AP exams taken and scores of 3 or higher on 5 or more of these exams. It's a lot of AP exams. So starting off with Pisgah, Evan Bird, graduated. Carter Francoeur, Karen Francoeur, and Lance Francoeur. Hayden Ingram, graduated. Chesney Lovelace, graduated. Maggie Mole, graduated. All right, and then from Tuscola, Hannah Downs, Keegan Kirkpatrick, Mariel Ottinger, graduated. Lillian Singleton, Hunter Solly, soccer. Sarah Elizabeth Super, graduated. And Christopher Wells, soccer. Okay. We have 2 more recognitions for AP. The next one is students who have completed and passed 2 year-long AP courses, AP Seminar and AP Research. So instead of teaching specific subject knowledge, AP Seminar and AP Research use an interdisciplinary approach to develop the critical thinking, research, collaboration, time management, and presentation skills students need for college-level work. And so the first one is the AP Seminar and Research Certificate, which students receive once they take both AP Seminar and Research and receive a passing score. So from Pisgah, With the AP Seminar and Research, we have Anna Shepherd. And Anna Warren. From Tuscola, we have Cecilia Morgan. Eleanor Sutton. And Christopher Wells. Take a picture. Okay, and the last one is the AP Capstone Diploma. That is students who have earned, who have passed the AP Seminar and AP Research and passed 4 other AP exams for a total of at least 6 AP exams. All right, from Pisgah, we have Eli Ash, who has graduated, Carter Francoeur, Karen Francoeur, Lance Francoeur, and Caden Ingram, who has graduated. From Tuscola, we have Mariel Ottinger, graduated, Lillian Singleton, Hunter Solly, and Lucy Vanderweed. What? Vanderweed, sorry. Graduated.
Next, we have Ms. Teresa Cook for some special recognitions.
Thank you. Yes, I have another awesome item to share with you. Chairman Francis, members of the board, we would like to recognize our summer 2024 Governor's School students. So come on up here. As you know, the North Carolina Governor's School is a 4-week summer residential program for gifted and talented high school students. After being nominated by their school, students go through a competitive selection process at both the district and the state level. I think there were approximately 1,900 students competing at the state level, and around 800 students were selected from those. So we had 5 students selected from Haywood County Schools. We want to say a special thank you to the Hammett Charitable Fund, which pays the tuition for our students, and that enables all who are selected to participate. So we're very thankful for that. Is everybody here? Almost? Okay. Okay. All right, they may want to say something, so before we give out the certificates, some of them said they might like to speak. All right, so this is Cecilia Morgan from Tuscola, and she participated in social science.
Hello, my name is Cecilia Morgan, and I'm a senior at Tuscola High School. This summer, I attended North Carolina Governor's School West with an Area 1 concentration in social science. North Carolina Governor's School was a life-changing experience for me. The opportunity to be taught by college professors from across the country with students from across the state, and allowed me to delve deep into discussions about societal issues. We explored controversial topics with research, participated in dialogue with opposing positions, and worked together to propose changes to some of society's biggest challenges. These challenges ranged from wrongful incarceration in the U.S. justice system to the stereotyped roles of females in sports advertisements and the media. Most meaningful of all to me was the opportunity to forge lifelong friendships that I will always treasure. Thank you for supporting me in attending North Carolina Governor's School.
Hello, my name is Nevaeh Harani, and ever since I was in 8th grade, my AIG teacher told me that Governor's School was going to be life-changing, and this past summer I found that to be true. I was accepted this summer to the mathematics program, and I found myself more involved in the classroom than I ever thought was possible. My teachers, all 3 NC State alumni, taught in a Beloit that I'd never seen before. I met 2 girls that became so close to me. We ended up working together on one of the most challenging presentations I've ever completed to date, polynomials in higher degrees. I'd like to thank my teachers for their recommendation letters, as well as my parents, Haywood Early College, and Haywood County Schools Foundation for their financial support. And I am proud to say that I am a Governor's School East alumni.
All right, so you can see what an impactful experience this is, and we are really just so proud of these students. All right, so we'll start with August Farmer. So we have a picture of Gus with Governor Cooper here. I am told that Gus explained fractals to the governor. All right, Nevaeh Harani. Cecilia Morgan. Miley Ferguson. And Isabella Williams.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Before you have a copy of the Dogwood Health Trust grant. We have sought that out and been awarded $125,000 for development and exploration of, are we skipping something? I see lots of scrambling.
That was me.
Okay.
Didn't have a microphone on.
Gotcha. All right. Want to make sure we weren't out of order. To receive $125,000 for exploration of the innovative middle school concept. Some of this money will be used for consultation as we try to progress forward with our innovative middle school.
Okay. Just need a motion.
Make a motion we approve.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Henson, second Mr. Rogers. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. They did good coming in on that. Y'all did good, guys.
Thank you.
All right, that's been passed. Now let's get back to our awards ceremony. Be right back. Next would be foreign language teacher, correct?
Chairman Francis and members of the board, it is an honor, a privilege to recognize a fantastic teacher. Miss Emily Burris at Pisgah High School has recently been named the Foreign Language Teacher of the Year. My year at Pisgah, you know, when I met her, that's been 7 years ago, she made a huge impression on me. It was always bonjour. Mademoiselle Burris. So when I first met her, she greeted me that way. And anytime you walked in her classroom, it was like you were walking into a little mini French culture. And she's very, very impressive. She deserves this honor. And I want to read just a few words. Come up here, Mr. Connor. From some of her recommendation letters that were submitted to the state. A couple of remarks from Mr. Connor. As the principal of Pisgah High School, I've had the pleasure of knowing Emily Burris for the last 6 years. She has been a tremendous employee and a huge asset to our school. She is deeply loved here at Pisgah, and her teaching efforts have been stellar. True. Ms. Burris has led several school initiatives and has been instrumental in promoting French within our school. She has successfully demonstrated leadership ability by creating programs that reach our parents, students, teachers, and community. Emily takes the job of educating children very seriously. Don't get in her way either. She's very serious. Many of our parents, students, and faculty have taken the time to share their comments with me regarding her pleasant and encouraging attitude. And those are from Mr. Connor. I also had a student, Kennedy Barker, who submitted a letter of recommendation for her, and she said, as a former student and avid French student under Mademoiselle Burris at Pisgah High School, I had the privilege of not only being taught the French language under her guidance, but becoming fully immersed in the culture, linguistics, and the rich opportunity to truly learn in and outside of the classroom through her constant projection of passionate teaching onto her students. In the classroom, she never fails to engage and involve her students in class activities. Tuesdays consisted of Macaroon Marty, an interactive vocabulary learning game, while Fridays always brought a true introduction to French culture by listening and watching French music videos. Mademoiselle Burris' exceptional approach toward learning has left a lasting impact on Francophone culture within me, not only in high school, but has influenced me to work toward a culture-based minor in my undergrad studies, as well as embarking on a study abroad journey in Europe for the summer of 2024. I think you owe me for that. Additionally, I unfortunately had to experience a year of high school during COVID-19, but Mademoiselle Burris made French class nothing short of excellent, even through technology. She was able to adapt remarkably fast to those changing conditions for teaching and was able to keep the classroom organized through the use of online learning platforms and even the creation of her own website each week that highlighted helpful resources for assignments throughout the units. She focused on fostering personal relationships with each one of us in the class, even through a screen. I always knew she was there to support and listen to our struggles, whether related to French or our experience through the pandemic as a whole. So she is an excellent teacher. She is very well deserving of this role. I would encourage you the next time you're at Pisgah High School to go into, is that B or C? B9. Find B9 and say bonjour. And if your kids ever have her, she will encourage them to go to Paris and explore the world. So thank you for all you do for our students, for bringing so much passionate. You say something, Mr. Connor.
The best of the best in the state. I agree. So congrats.
Absolutely deserving. Congratulations.
What she said.
So we're collecting North Carolina Teachers of the Year. So That was our third in Haywood County, and honestly, they deserve every bit of that recognition.
Amen. Very good. Now we have Ms. Barker with some great news. It leaked out somehow or another over the last few days.
Yes, so in case you haven't heard,
I don't think it was leaked.
yeah, so I've got some extremely good news for our schools and our community, and just want to say, wow. We're very proud of all of our academic accomplishments. You've heard some of these even tonight. We have so many people working hard, and it's so good when you work that hard to see the results. And so we're seeing that. Dr. Putnam mentioned in the Mountaineer article that all of our stakeholders have had a part in this. I can't stress that enough. When I was in high school, my go-to person in that high school was a guidance assistant. You know, it's everybody. It has been, you know, our cafeteria workers that feed these children. It's been our bus drivers that wonder where that kid is that morning and check on them. It's our teacher assistants who develop that strong bond and help those kids learn. So it's just been the whole community. We have mental health specialists, we have counselors, and, you know, I could go on and on. So it's not just one group. It has really been a team effort, and we've talked a lot about that. You know, to our principals, we had some that were here earlier. I just want to say thank you. You know, thank you for believing in our kids, for holding high expectations in your school, because that makes a difference. If you believe it, they can achieve it. And they believe, and it's hard to hold high expectations. But they have, they've led instructionally very strongly, and they can't be thanked enough. And I'll just tell them to keep rowing that boat. Our teachers are our heroes. In a world where public schools and teachers come under so much scrutiny, they showed up. They've educated our kids. They have endured and being very, very successful. So I can't thank them enough. They work on weekends, they work long hours, they go to professional development, but they challenged our students, and our students responded. And hopefully, having a Teacher of the Year from North Carolina, Heather Smith, in Raleigh, I hope she will be advocating for pay for not only teachers, but for all of our employees in our schools. And so hopefully Heather can help us with that. They deserve that and then some. Our students are rock stars. You know, I think they're among the brightest kids that I know. They amaze me all the time. You saw examples of that tonight. They've represented Haywood County so well. We're so proud of their hard work and their dedication, and they're showing the world what a group of rural Haywood County students are capable of, and they make us all optimistic about our future. So, and we thank you, board, for your support, and all these people that lead instruction. Raise your hand over here. All you that lead instruction, their leadership has made a difference. And I do want to thank Teresa for the next part of the presentation. Teresa Cook, I asked her to give a speech, and she went, but she prepares this data, and I'm not allowed to call her. I used to call her, and she didn't like it. So she told me I wasn't allowed to call her till she gets it. All this data out. But this is some fantastic data, and I want to start with this slide. What do you want?
I think she said it beautifully. Everyone has had a role in this, every one of them. So if it's a bus driver getting them here in the morning, or a hot meal, clean and safe space, custodians and SROs, or whether it's clerical answering the phone and handing out Band-Aids. We greatly, greatly value you and know that that is every bit your recognition. It belongs with you. So it's very grateful.
So the big news is, and you can see the slide, is that out of 115 school districts in North Carolina, Haywood County has received their highest ranking, and we are number 6 overall in the state of North Carolina. So that is huge news to us. We've got some pretty good company up there. You can see within the top 20, we also have Polk County. I think might be the first time we've ever beat Polk. We've chased them for a while. Madison County and Clay County schools who do an excellent job also. They're great colleagues to call on, and we talk to them, and we're just, we're proud Western North Carolina is represented, and we're proud that Haywood County is number 6 in the state. The second slide, state academic performance. This is huge. So in the state of North Carolina, and I'm glad Mr. Connor stayed, too. I guess Mr. Connor left and Ms. Fox isn't here today, but I just want you to know that EOCs are end of course tests. Those are high school tests. And you can see in the state, we rank number 1 in the state in end of course testing. And 2 points above the next person, if you'll notice there. So our high schools, we talked about this at work session. Haywood Early College is included in that, and Central Haywood High School. We've got the best high schools in the state of North Carolina. I'm very, very proud of them for that. The next slide talks about regional ranks. Okay, within our western region, we have a lot of really strong schools in the western part of the state. And I know y'all are aware of that. When you look on the left at the performance composite for Haywood County schools in the region, we are number 1 in our region, and that's overall all the testing we do through 12th grade. So we are number 1 in the western region by a couple of points. Also, EOCs combined, obviously if we're first in the state, we're definitely first in the region, and look at the span difference there. So that's a good 8 points ahead. So just again, congratulations to all those schools and people that are responsible, everyone. The next page, we're going to look at some other academic highlights in the region. In biology, high school biology, Haywood County Schools was number 1 in the region. In North Carolina, Math 1, we were number 1. In North Carolina, Math 3, we were number 1 in the region, and in English 2, we were number 1. And those are in our end of course test in the high school. All right, up next, 4th grade in the western region, Haywood County Schools, number 1 in 4th grade for all EOGs. You can see also in math, 4th grade math, number 1. 8th grade math in our region, number 1. And our work keys test was number 1 for the region. So those are overall the state and regional, just really big highlights I wanted to hit. So congratulations. Woo! Can we get a amen?
Oh, photo op. Sorry. We need to be clapping. Photo op.
Then, and just some individual school highlights. When you do this, there's so much, okay? So I want to make sure you understand the big pieces. Within each individual school, you're going to have highlights. You're going to have done way better than you did before. That's going to be your celebration within your own school. And I just want you to know that. I'm going to pull out a few individual schools here and highlight them, but all these schools and every school in our district has reason to celebrate. Riverbend was number 1 in the state in overall composite among pre-K through 5 Title I schools. So they're the number 1 elementary in the state in pre-K through 5 Title I schools. They were also first in the state in 3rd and 5th grade reading, 3rd through 5th grade math, and 5th grade science, and again, pre-K through 5 Title I schools in the region. So first in the state in 3rd and 5th grade reading, and then 3rd and 5th grade math and 5th grade science in the region. Junaluska Elementary was 5th in the region in overall composite among traditional K-5 Title I elementary schools. There are a lot of elementary schools in our region. They're in the top 3% in third grade math among pre-K through 5 Title I schools in the state, and 4th in third grade reading and math. Hazelwood and Jonathan Valley Elementary Schools exceeded growth this year. Hazelwood, Jonathan Valley, Junaluska, and North Canton improved their school performance this year from a C to a B, which is huge. Bethel Middle School, it was first in the region among traditional 6 through 8 schools. Number 1 in the region. They were first in the region among traditional 6-8 schools in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade math. They were second in the region among traditional 6 through 8 schools in 8th grade science. Canton Middle School was second in the region among traditional 6 through 8 schools in 8th grade math. They were 6th in the region among traditional schools in 8th grade science. Haywood Early College in ACT was 5th in the state in ACT score and 1st in the region among 9 through 13 early colleges and that sort. Among the 9 through 13 early colleges in the state and region with greater than 95% proficiency in Math 1, Math 3, Biology, and English 2. And what that means is their composite is at or above 95%, so it throws them to a group of other schools that are that high. We don't know how many, there's several of them, but we don't know their exact composite. But that still places them in the top in the state, the early college. Pisgah High School was first in the region in overall composite among 9 through 12 traditional high schools. They were in the top 5% in biology proficiency among traditional high schools in the state and first in the region in biology scores. They exceeded growth for how many years in a row? 4 years in a row. Very hard to do. Tuscola High School is second in the region in overall composite among 9 through 12 traditional high schools. So in the region, all the high schools in the region, Pisgah is number 1, Tuscola is number 2, and Haywood Early's in a class, they're number 1 of their own among early colleges. They're in the top 4% in Math 3 proficiency among 9 through 12 traditional high schools in the state. And they're first in the region in Math 3, Tuscola High School. They beat you.
Uh-oh.
Okay. You beat him.
It's kind of quiet all of a sudden.
No, he knows I'm kidding. I'm proud. They're in the top 9% in the state, and Tuscola High School was also first in the region in ACT among traditional high schools. They were second in ACT work keys, and they improved their ACT score 13.2 points last year, and their work keys went up 15.9 points. You trained him very well, Clint, of what to do there, and encouraged his teacher. They exceeded growth, Tuscola High School, with one of the highest growth scores in the region among traditional high schools. So that is it in a nutshell. Do you have any questions for me? I'm just extremely honored to be a part of this chapter, and this is Trevor and Dr. Putnam and I talked the other day just about how in our careers, this is not something that happens overnight. This has been a long time coming, and I think back to Dr. Garrett and Dr. Nolte and how we were all trying to move in that direction. And Dr. Putnam mentioned good to great. We were sitting at the table when those conversations were being had, that we wanted our school system to move to be great. So this has been a lot of effort by a lot of people over the years too. I thank you for your support and being there for us, but we're just really proud of our schools.
We are too. We are too.
That one word, Miss Barker, wow.
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 And most importantly, our kids.
Yes.
Absolutely.
They not the best.
That's right. Amen.
Absolutely.
Amen. Ms. Barker, I did have one question.
Yes.
For a lot of folks, you said traditional
Yes.
schools. And I know that the charter school here in Haywood County is not included in our data at all, correct?
There's a huge, massive spreadsheet that that's released from the state. And we sort based on schools that look like ours.
Okay.
Some schools only have like an elementary, some schools are 5, 6 schools. You know, so we sort by Title I, pre-K through 5th grade schools. And in the high schools, we sort by, you know, like 9 through 12 high schools, or traditional high schools. So, and Ms. Cook does a great job of that. They are on that spreadsheet. Shining Rock is on that spreadsheet, but again, they're not a part of, you know, Haywood County school system. So they're not included in this, but they do have their own scores, yes, sir.
Very good. I would
Just,
encourage.
just for clarity's sake, they are not part of Haywood County Public Schools.
Correct.
They are not.
Did I answer your question?
Yes,
Okay.
that was what I wanted to hear. Thank you very much. Congratulations. We're going to be celebrating this for a good while, and we should. And it's a lot of hard work, and there's going to be people nipping at our heels, I know, this coming year. And so I know our folks will continue to do a great job, and they always have. Thank you.
And one last thing, and she's gonna kill me. This lady right here, Ms. Barker,
Absolutely.
she deserves a ton of credit as well.
Congratulations. We have had an individual request to speak to the board tonight in open session. Now is the time period designated by the Board of Education for public comments. This time is set aside for comments from the general public in regard to matters of concern to the public. However, we request that you do not address specific students and/or personnel. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. The board requests that all speakers adhere to the time limitation and request against mentioning individual students and personnel. The board recognizes Nathan Roberto.
Don't throw that in the trash. Hey, good evening. My name is
Good evening.
Nathan Roberto. I live in Canton, 6 West Haywood Drive, and I am the father of 2 young kids who will soon be students at Haywood County Schools.
Okay.
I'm very impressed by what I read over the weekend of being 6th in the state. I think that's a huge accomplishment. I'm going to be so proud to send my kids into this system. I've already had interactions with some of the teaching staff. I substitute taught for a bit, so I was able to form relationships with some of you.
Okay.
One thing I am reluctant to do is, for one reason I'm reluctant to send my kids to public schools, is gun violence. And last week was another example of how government has failed to protect students, local, state, federal government. And I think it was last year when the shooting in Nashville happened, I just happened to be getting off work, and the governor was in town. He was walking around Canton because of the mill closure, and I was just so upset. I wanted to go talk to the governor. I don't know what about, but I mean, if the governor's in town, I'm gonna go, talk to him about it. He was gone, but the mayor was there, and so I had never met the mayor. This was the first time, and so I said, "Hey, Mayor, I hope you spoke with the governor about gun regulation." Oh, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I did. I hugged my kids tighter that night, but your real problem is Mark Pless." And so I was a little taken aback because I felt like he was pushing the buck to somebody else when, I was coming to him. He obviously didn't know what was going on with me in that moment. I was obviously very emotional, and I needed somebody to talk to. But so I was like, okay, I'll go talk to Mark Pless. And so I went to Mark Pless. I went to a town hall meeting at Haywood Community College, and there were 15 people there. And he stood there, and he had the state budget up in his hand. And he said, "You don't want me to go through this." So let me tell you what you need to know. Oh, I gave teachers a raise, or we gave teachers a raise. Essentially, whitewashing what was going on. I mean, no transparency, no ability to answer serious questions. Even at one point admitting that he didn't know who to go to ask questions that were being posed. And so this person who has contributed at the state legislature to expand the voucher program by $465 million and to repeal gun permits is an individual we don't need to represent us and to further Haywood County Schools. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your comments. Okay. Next, board members, you've had an opportunity to look at the August 12th closed and regular session minutes.
Make a motion we approve.
Mr. Henson made a motion that we approve the minutes as presented. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Francis. Any questions or comments on the motion on the floor? Any questions or comments? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next, we have Ms. Brandy Stevenson. Ms. Stevenson.
Chairman Francis, members of the board, staff and guests, tonight what I bring to you is not as exciting as what Ms. Barker had to talk about. The first thing that I have is a memorandum of agreement with MAHEC to provide much-needed mental health services in our schools. So this is an effort to provide school-based therapists with an outside agency to provide outpatient therapy within the school day through the MAHEC organization.
I make a motion we approve the MAHEC agreement.
Second. We have a motion from Mr. Nesbitt, second Mr. Kirkpatrick. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor?
We've had them for a while, haven't we?
No, this is
This a
new.
new one? Okay. This is the new, all right.
All right. Any other questions, comments? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, the next thing is another contract through A New Hope Home Care. And these are the same contracts with the same, it's the same agreements virtually, they're just for different students. So these are two more students that need nursing services through A New Hope Home Care.
Okay, we need a motion for approval.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, Mr. Francis.
Second.
A motion, second by Mr. Kirkpatrick. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, the next thing on the list is an agreement with Verbatim Language Service, and this is to provide translation and interpretation in many different languages for our families that come to meetings so that we can make sure that they understand what's being communicated in their native language.
Chairman, I make a motion, we approve the verbatim language service agreement.
All right, we have a motion from Mr. Rogers. Do I hear a second?
Second.
So Mr. Clark, any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, the last thing on my list is a supervision agreement for our licensed clinical social workers. So our social workers in the district that provide our risk assessment, suicide assessment, and counseling as a related service, they have to be supervised by a clinician until they get their full LCSW licensure. And so this is to provide that supervision for the three of them.
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the clinical supervision agreement.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Rogers. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Henson. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stevenson. Ms. Barker's back up again on how to improve our fantastic schools. Improvement plans.
It's a never-ending job. Yes, that's right. So I hope you had a chance to review the school improvement plans as are required by the state of North Carolina every 2 years. And those schools have submitted those plans with a lot of stakeholder voice in those. So if you had any questions, I'll be glad to answer those at this point. I'd ask for your approval of those plans.
Need a motion to approve.
I make a motion, we approve the school improvement plans.
Second.
Have a motion from Mr. Nesbit, second Mr. Kirkpatrick. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. That's a lot of work, and we appreciate it.
I thank our schools and
Yes.
all their stakeholders for putting a lot of work into those. Thank you for reviewing them.
Very detailed. Thank you. Ms. Moody's up next.
Chairman Francis, board members, I come before you asking approval for a Syllogist Ed software contract. This is to upgrade our finance, payroll, and HR software system. This is part of a statewide modernization initiative. DPI has 3 approved vendors for LEAs to choose from. That was Tyler Technology, Link, and Syllogist Ed. Staff from finance, HR, and IT met with each vendor, and after a thorough review, we feel that Syllogist meets our needs.
Sounds good. I think y'all been on the same payroll system for over 20 years.
Probably so. It's a
I've been on the
green
board
screen
since-
DOS system, so it's time for an upgrade.
I was thinking, I've been on the board since 2000. I think this is the first I've ever, any kind of a change in the payroll system that I'm aware of.
We were sort of held hostage, DPI. We had to keep ours to, so it would talk to them so we could send our reports monthly to them. So now the state's issued that Modernization Act, so they're having to change, and they have put, they tell us our software is going to sunset in 2026, so we have to do
They do.
something.
Mine
Make
did
it
that
another
with
2
Dawson
years, right?
2 years ago. It just gone.
Need a motion for approval.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Rogers made a motion, second by Mr. Francis. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Thank you.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Moody, as well. Thank you. Dr. Putnam.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You should have in your folders a copy of the Parent Advisory Councils formed at each school. I would request that you approve those Parent Advisory Councils at this time.
Need a motion.
Make a motion, we approve.
And Mr. Henson's made the motion to approve.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Kirkpatrick. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Next item is a Haywood Community College cafe lease agreement. Mr. Smathers has reviewed this agreement as well, and all is in compliance, no significant changes there. I think their utility rates did go up because utilities did
Have
go
gone up.
so it's reflective, nothing substantial.
I'll make a motion to approve the 24-27 HCC cafe lease agreement.
Mr. Francis has made the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Henson. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Putnam. Next, board members, there's been a change in North Carolina School Board Association voting delegates. In other words, they made it to where each district gets 4, regardless of the size of the district or regardless of what your budget was. It used to be based on total dollars in your budget. So it's a change that's come, and it's that time of year where we can go ahead and elect, this board can elect our voting delegates and up to 3 or 4 alternates, but we can't change when we get down there. So if you think you're going to be there and want to be added to at least to the alternate list, you might as well be included in that as well. I know it's early, but is most folks planning on going, or some folks planning on going? All right. Jimmy, all right, Jim, where are you going? Logan?
Far as I know.
As far as I know.
Okay, so y'all want to serve as your vote? Ronnie going? Or? That's all right.
You gonna go?
I nominate Stephen Kirkpatrick.
I nominate Logan.
Short man wins.
No fair.
That was quick, yeah.
I
David
don't
and
know
Marlo,
whether
y'all-
I'm going or not, but
Marla?
I'm sorry, I won't be able to attend this year.
Okay, I remember you, I
is
understand.
David going?
David's
Said
going.
he's going.
David's going. So David, Larry, Jimmy. I nominate David, Larry, Jimmy, and Logan
As the voting delegates.
as the voting delegates.
And then how many was that? 4?
That's 4. And then me, Jim, let's go ahead and do that.
As an alternate.
Yeah.
And me as an alternate too.
I thought you was automatically a voting
Uh-huh.
delegate.
No,
Oh, you're not? Okay.
the way they changed it, yeah.
Put Chuck in my place just in case I can't go and I'll be an alternate.
Well, if that's the
that
case,
fair?
we'll just put Jim. in
Okay,
case.
okay.
I mean, I'm not saying
That's
nothing
fine.
against you.
Is that
We'll
clear
put-
as mud, Ms. King?
Okay, so I nominate Larry, David, Jimmy, and Jim as our voting delegates for Greensboro.
And the alternates will be?
You want to put this all in one motion?
Yeah.
Alternates will be Logan,
All right.
Chuck Francis,
Okay.
Ronnie, and myself.
Okay. That covers everybody.
That covers everybody.
All right.
And
This
Miss
is-
Mars, she's just,
We can govern but not self-govern.
did you get that, Miss Brooks?
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Kirkpatrick. Do I
I'll
hear a
second.
second? Please, dear God.
I'll second.
Mr. Francis seconded it. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor of ourselves, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. That was like childbirth, I believe. All right, Mr. Haynes. Please.
As far as policies go this evening, we just have 3 up for second read, all of which are just minor changes in legalese, and we had no comments on during the first read period. So I would ask that you approve those if you would like to, please.
I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we approve the policies for the second reading.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Rogers, second from Mr. Kirkpatrick. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Haynes. One thing I did fail to mention back at the school board thing, I don't want to digress, but we do have an opportunity to nominate someone from this board to be eligible to be on the board of directors. There's going to be an opening in District 8, which is the Western District, and so be thinking about that and next month. And I have talked to Mr. Rogers. He would be willing to serve. And if someone else is interested, we'll talk about it. I'll be glad to talk to you about it. But this is the first time we've had an opportunity for somebody from this district in a good while. So, anyway.
That's awesome.
Something to think about. All right. Next, we have building and grounds. We have 4 items, I believe it was.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve comfort systems for an HVAC replacement at Bethel Middle School in the amount of $15,972 using ESSER funds for the main building.
Second.
You have a motion from Mr. Nesbitt, second by Mr. Kirkpatrick. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Second motion, Chairman, would be to approve a new sign for the EC itinerant staff building. This is located beside the old Hazelwood School.
Okay. A
Second.
motion from Mr. Nesbitt and second Mr. Kirkpatrick. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Mr. Chairman, third motion would be to approve John Bergen Construction for the Tuscola Barn Plumbing Project in the amount of $39,000 to be paid from existing grant funds at Tuscola High School.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Nesbitt. I hear a second. Second from Ms. Morris. She was on that switch pretty fast. That's good. We have a motion from Mr. Nesbitt, second from Ms. Morris. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor?
Now, is this project to build like a pumping station, and why can't we tap into the existing sewer system that was run over to that side of the road?
So the goal is to eventually tap into the sewer system that's run down at the road. We have to run a line down there temporarily. We will be installing a pump and haul septic system right there, with the goal of eventually putting the line all the way down to the road, but that will take some time, so we can use this temporarily, and then when that line gets put in, we can transition over to that line, and we have to, or the farm has to have a holding tank anyway for the animals when they rinse stuff out of the barn, so that it's caught before it goes down the sewer line. So the holding tank that we're gonna temporarily use as the septic system will be necessary anyway.
Okay. Got it. That makes sense. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments before we vote? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
And, Mr. Chairman, finally, I'd make a motion to approve Comfort Systems to complete the Canton Middle School gas heater project. This is converting the boilers over to LP in the amount of $43,567 to be paid from capital outlay.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion from Mr. Nesbitt, second from Mr. Kirkpatrick. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor?
Hopefully that'll pay for itself over time.
I think so.
I think it will too.
Really good price.
Boilers are about old anyway.
Any other comments, questions before we vote? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
That's all for building grounds.
All right, thank you very much for the hard work of the Building and Grounds Committee. Next, we have the Finance Committee Chair, Mr. Ronnie Clark.
The Finance Committee met earlier today, and I want to we reviewed the monthly financial reports. Everything looks good. I want to bring it for motion to approve.
Okay. We have a motion from Mr. Clark. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Kirkpatrick. Any question or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Also, I want to approve the beginning budget resolution financial year 2025. So it's just the beginning of what we got so far, putting it together for the resolution.
I'm sure it'll change as the legislature meets.
Yeah.
I second that motion.
Okay, have Mr. Clark has made a motion, second by Mr. Kirkpatrick. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. That all?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for the hard work of the Finance Committee. Thank you very much. All right. Now we have Dr. Putnam for our personnel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For your information, we have 14 separations from employment, 6 employment status changes, 15 ESS long-term substitutes, 7 student interns, and 11 leaves of absence. For your approval, we have 28 employments, 66 employee status changes, 1 leave of absence, 1 contracted service, 5 staff coaches, 4 non-staff coaches, and 1 volunteer service.
I make a motion we approve personnel as presented.
Second.
We have a motion from Mr. Kirkpatrick, second from Mr. Nesbitt. Any questions or discussion on the motion on the floor? There being none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Very good.
I may take liberty to introduce, now that personnel has been approved. It is my privilege and honor to introduce our next Human Resource Director. Mr. Hines has been with us for many years and served us very, very well. He has a wealth of knowledge that we will certainly miss. However, our candidate that I bring before you tonight, I'll tell you a little story. Basically, her first appointment was to the HCLC. And quite honestly, that was something that Dr. Nolte had managed very closely from its inception to current day. And we didn't know a lot about it, and we just really needed help, someone to put eyes on it, figure out how it was funded, someone that's a go-getter, that could go find those funds and make that program sustainable. And this person did that and did it in the ace of spades. Just absolutely phenomenal job, and not only managing or taking over that program, but growing it and developing it. And so it's my distinct pleasure to introduce as our new Human Resource Director, effective January 1st, but she will begin working in our office October 1 for overlap, Mrs. DJ Kirby.
Good evening, Dr. Putnam, district leadership, Chairman Francis, and members of the board. I am beyond excited to be here this evening to thank you for the opportunity to serve as the Director of Human Resources. Having worked in Haywood County Schools for the past 14 years, I know the high expectations this leadership position holds. I want to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Putnam, Ms. Barker, Mr. Hines, and the board for your support and for entrusting me with this opportunity. I would also like to thank my family, friends, and coworkers, both of the past and the present, who have supported me along the way. Most importantly, I am thankful to God for the opportunities that He has placed before me. I have dedicated my career to serving the students, staff, and families of Haywood County, and I am honored to continue serving Haywood County Schools in this new role. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Very fortunate. Also would like to take privilege and courtesy to introduce our next person. When you make a vacancy, you have to fill the vacancy. And this next person has worked in a variety of capacities, and I believe at every level, if I'm not mistaken, in some form or fashion or another. She has been in leadership for a very long time and has worked just tirelessly over and above what was expected of her. She's smart and organized, and we are very privileged to have Miss Amy Tiller as our next HCLC director.
Dr. Putnam, Jill, Graham, Chairman Francis, the board, thank you. I want to thank God for providing me with this opportunity to serve and love the Haywood County school community in this different role. I have loved my time at Clyde Elementary and have built so many dear relationships with the students and the staff and the families over the past 6 years. I've cherished working under the leadership there, learning and growing from Dr. Burnett and Carly Wells. I will miss seeing my Clyde family each and every day, but will be cheering them on from that short distance away. I want to thank the board and Dr. Putnam, Ms. Barker, and Mr. Haynes for their support and encouragement as I join the strong team at the HCLC. I appreciate all the hard work that DJ has put in there for this program over the past couple of years, and I'm so thankful for her willingness to share her expertise. I want to shout a huge thank you to my sweet family for loving me so well and standing by my side and cheering me on through the adventures, whatever comes our way. And finally, I want to say how excited I am to get to know, work with, and support the faculty, staff, and students at the HCLC, as well as with the community partners that help make the program possible and successful. And I'm grateful and so looking forward to this adventure ahead. So thank you so much.
Thank you and congratulations.
That is all, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Congratulations, everyone, and we look forward to working with you in the future, and thank you very much for accepting these roles in the Haywood County Schools. Meeting adjourned.